of here in recording in progress. Hi everyone, and welcome to the.
I think she's gonna just say this like all the time.
It's my new jam.
The writing class. The writers class. Welcome to it. It's your new jam.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Oh my word.
How old are you? We need to stop this like watching 90s flicks on.
I feel like that's a 70s flick.
I don't know. Is it?
I feel like I'm going back to like bell bottoms.
Okay, we need to stop binge watching movies.
There you go.
That's what we need to stop doing. And
then we need to start reading and/or writing because we wrote books.
Right, we did. And like super behind, but I'm Jade.
And I'm Winona. Oh, what?
High five. Social distance style, y'all. COVID still out there. Don't touch people's hands. All right. We wrote literary life guides with pop poetry. Yes, sometimes we do have wise things to say. Or maybe it's just our co-authors. We don't know. Y'all will see. All right. So, and I thought the voice was bad with other life lessons. And I thought being grown up was easy. If only I would meet a memoir in verse. Let's see.
Foreign Coffee, Widow's Web, and Widow's Debt.
Yep. All of those are available on Audible, y'all. Or where you get your
audio
books. Or you can check out all the other 17. My favorite book. Yes, we're not supposed to have favorites, but I have them. If only. and after I did my journey alone, you can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andithoughladies.com. But y'all aren't here to hear about us. You're here to hear from our
wonderful guests. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Bethany Jett. I'm an author. I've got 3 boys. I'm married to my college sweetheart. And then my fun fact is I'm actually allergic to paper. I can't touch it.
I was trying to figure out, I was like, is this fun on her thing? Because half the reason I asked you is because I wanted to hear about it. But now I know.
You can't touch paper and yet you're an author. That sounds like an interesting journey.
Yeah. First of all, can you tell us how you got started? And then, because I have a whole nother question I want to ask, but like, how did you get started?
That's the one.
I started in
allergic to paper.
Okay, so I found out I was allergic to paper after multiple doctor visits, 3 years of like, your skin it's so gross, but dry and cracked and all those kinds of things. And it turns out they did a patch test and I'm allergic to colophony, which is pine resin, and it's in paper manufacturing, ink, anything slick. So like all of my book covers, especially are magazines or photos, and non-BPA plastic. So I wear lots of gloves. I've got like gloves over here, gloves over there. So that is, I know.
You came on with the gloves. I mean, just like rock it.
Yeah. I know, my hands get so hot in them.
Yeah, wow, true. Yes.
Well, and not too long ago, like the entire world was going with you with the gloves. So right? You were in fashion.
I know, everyone's like, man, you started this, but then I know. And then I couldn't get my favorite gloves because everybody was ordering them off of Amazon. So then I was like, come on, y'all. I actually need these. I know you got them stuck up in your garage somewhere and I need them now.
Oh my goodness.
No.
So my next question is, how did you start Serious Writer Inc.?
Oh yeah, so Serious Writer, I went to a writers conference and that's where I got my start with writing, because you can meet, agents and editors and get your book. It was like a Cinderella moment, really, that first conference. But then when I went home, I realized like most people don't get the chance to actually go to a writers conference because it can be really expensive. And mine was kind of in my back door. I got a scholarship. Like that's how I got to go. And I thought every year that I started going back and then I became on faculty myself, I thought, how could we do this better? And this is before like COVID and everyone got on Zoom really. So it's actually now is more normal to have like online conferences and things like that. But I just kind of wanted to give that same instruction to people when they were or to do it from home. And that's how Serious Writer started. And then I merged my company, which is Serious Writer Academy, with my literary agent's company, which was Almost an Author. He had been doing the same thing, just with a blog. And then we said, we've got 2 pieces of this puzzle here. Let's put them together. And Serious Writer Inc. was born 4 years ago, and it's just been a crazy ride since.
So when can people, I'm sorry. Jay, go ahead and ask your question. Did you have a question?
Well, no, go ahead and ask, Winona.
Okay, thank you. She's being so gracious to the narcissist today. So what do people expect when they go to like Serious Writer Inc.? And then my next question is, how do you get to speak? Especially if you have a blue bow in your hair, how do you get to speak?
The best way to speak at like any kind of conferences is to like do the pitch letter. But the best thing is when you can really say, okay, I've got a topic that you like, find the whole. And it's the same thing we say with writing. Like if you want to write for a certain publisher, you got to write something similar that their audience is going to like, but where's their hole? Can you be the one to fill it? And that's kind of how I got started with it. I was live streaming. Do you guys remember Periscope when it came out on Twitter? Okay. So like first thing I've ever been an early adopter for, because I'm usually like watching things before I do them, but I got on that early and the writing community wasn't doing it. And so that was my, they're like, can you do an episode on live streaming, teach a class? I'm like, yes, I can. I will go figure this out. Came up with class. And then I was like in the circuit. So that's always my best piece of advice is figure out what are you doing that nobody else is, pitch that. And then that's the easiest way to get in.
That is fabulous. That is great advice. That is great advice. And so now like my question is out the window because she just said what you do. So how did you meet your literary agent?
I met my first agent at the writers conference, the very first one that I went to, because you get to like 15-minute or 10-minute appointments to pitch work. And she was amazing. And then my current agent, I met him at a writing contest. We were both competing for the same award and neither one of us won. We both lost. But then just our writing journeys were similar. We didn't really know each other, but I took a picture with him though. And I still have that photo because I wanted to beat him next year, just in case it was the two of us again. Like I'm real competitive that way. I was like, hey, I'm Bethany and let's get a picture with our awards since we didn't win. But really I was going to use it later as like, gotcha.
Yo, that's fabulous. That's fabulous. I hope that wasn't a secret that they didn't know. Because now you know exposés. Let's talk about your Platinum Literary Services. What is that? What can people expect? And how can we get in contact with you? All of those questions.
We call it Platlit just because it's shorter and easier and kind of cute. We like it Platlit. But my best friend, Michelle Medlock Adams, she's incredible. She's a New York Times bestselling ghostwriter, but she's also written, I think she's had over 100 books now, sold almost 5 million. She's always winning the awards, bestselling children's author. And so she's just incredible. And so she does a lot of freelance and made great money that way. And so she's like, hey, why don't people are always asking us to do these kinds of things. Do you want to do them together? And so that's when we're like, oh yeah, let's just do that. And so we were doing a lot of editing services for people and ghostwriting, but we really are really good at book proposals. And now we've kind of shifted, because you know how businesses shift, like we took on a lot and we kept like narrowing it down, finding your niche, right? Yeah. This is so hard. Business is so hard, like to figure out like who you are. But we're really good at the strategy and consulting. And I think that's kind of our sweet spot. So that's kind of what we're doing now is that help on me and more on the marketing side for like book launch or proposals, or how do you really take the marketing business aspects into book world. And then she's amazing at children's books. And she's a great marketer herself.
Okay. So I do have one last question. I have one last question. Okay. Why is marketing so important to an author?
Oh my goodness.
And when should we start our marketing plan?
Okay. The best time to start marketing your book is pre-book, because once the book is out, it doesn't matter if you self-publish, vanity publish, hybrid publish, partner publish, traditional publish, you have to sell the book. And if you've self-published, you've got a lot of money invested in that book and you need to get it back. Let's not have books in our garage, just take it. Dead money is what I call it, even in our house. Like all the food we have in the house and there's nothing to eat and we have to order pizza, like just dead money in the cupboards. So I kind of think that with books too, like if we've got money invested, either the publisher or you've got to move the dollars there. And so marketing is so important, but the more you can do to get an audience ahead of the book, the better, because then they're watching you go through this process and you're hopefully giving so much value that when you ask them for the book, like to buy the book, it's a no-brainer. Like, I love you so much, I'll buy anything that you have. That's kind of like the fan base that you want. And you get that by just being so over generous and value to them. And that's why I buy books from people. Like, I love them so much. I'm like, I have to have their book when it comes out, pre-ordering the book. And so that's the kind of fan base I think you want to do. I think marketing is really about the message. Like, do you believe in your message so much that you don't have to wait for the book to get it out? Then you're going to do pretty good with your book sales.
Okay, so now I have to know how we can get you to fall in love with us. You will read pop poetry. That was a joke. That's a joke.
I was watching your guys' show about, you started off with Doctor Who.
Yes.
I was dying. It's so good.
Oh my goodness. That is, we're not supposed to have, but I have it. That is one of my all-time favorite shows, just because it was just the silliest show. We were like, we're doing this.
And it's so not brand.
It's so not brand, but we had to do it because we kept meeting Hoovens, and we were like, yes, let's do this.
Are you a
Hoovian? Are you Hoovian? Yeah.
I almost didn't say it because I knew you would ask that. My aunt is, but I think my husband and my boys are gonna love the show. And so when I was watching it, I was like, you know what? This is a good reminder. I think I'm gonna watch it with my kids.
Oh my goodness.
They will love it.
Yes. Yes, love it. Love it.
Okay, anyway, it's recorded, so I can't.
Anyway, we are going to ask, where can people find out more about you? Because we're professional here, darn it. And where can people find out more about you and all the wonderful value that you have out?
BethanyJett.com. Jett is the last name. That's why I married my husband. It's a great last name.
She just wanted to have a private jet. She was like, I have a private jet.
Yeah,
I have a private one.
My own jet.
My own jet. That's what I have. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate
Jade,
it.
would you like to wrap us up?
Absolutely. You can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andithoughtLadies.com. But while you're there, take a moment, go down to the bottom of the page, see the charities that we probably support. Maybe you can support them. Also, we thank you in advance for that. Just remember, y'all, the wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Will, Nona,
and Jade. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, thanks for listening.